Yeah, if I could just interject here, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that our technology is so advanced now that we can keep people alive on machines. We have like life support, whereas before, people that would just be it. They would eventually just expire. Their body would cease functioning. But now we have the ability to keep people alive a lot longer, even if their body is failing. So I think it makes it a lot tougher. And, yeah, I mean, we don't fully understand the brain yet. We don't understand where consciousness is. We don't understand, what does brain dead mean, like he was saying. Um, so sometimes we might get it wrong, or maybe, it's just not a uniform standard for actually declaring that. The medical community used to consider your heart stopped beating for a specific amount of time to mean that you were dead, and that was it. And we know now that that's just not the case. Your heart can be revived after a long time of being stopped, and if you can get the blood flow going again, I mean, your consciousness and everything is controlled by your brain. So we still don't really have a clear-cut idea of what exactly all happens, and everybody's different. That's the thing, is a lot of times people forget to think that everybody's not built the same. We're all individuals. We're all unique. Our bodies are put together differently, and so what may affect somebody one way might affect another person in another way. So trying to declare when you're brain dead can be very difficult. As far as near-death experiences, I'll just kind of go ahead and agree with what was said already, that people tend to see things that are familiar to them. So a lot of the times people claim to see dead family members, and a lot of the times they claim to see the God that they believe in, that's culturally significant or familiar to them. You're rarely going to see somebody that's not a Christian saying they saw Jesus, or somebody who's a Hindu saying they saw Jesus, or something along those lines. I'm sure there's cases like that, but then again, how do you know what you're actually seeing? Because nobody really knows what these deities look like. Nobody really knows what Jesus looks like. They all have this idea in their head, but that's just based off, again, of popular culture and of paintings and things of that nature. And again, we can also, like was mentioned earlier, induce these kind of effects in people with oxygen deprivation and things of that nature. So, your brain can do funny things on you, especially when you're nearing death, when your body's not functioning properly, and you might be thinking that you saw things or heard things that you really didn't see, that were kind of figments of your imagination. We all know that eyewitness testimony isn't the most reliable, and then just imagine that under the conditions of your body failing. So that's pretty much what I had to add to that.
Yeah, so what you mentioned there is that people tend to see what they're familiar with, and they tend, you don't hear about a Muslim seeing John Smith, you don't hear about a Jew seeing like, a heavenly version of Jesus. This is kind of interesting anecdote, but not really too relevant to the discussion. When I was in the military, I overdosed on DXM, and I was in my bed in my dorm room, and I kind of had like this kind of sort of, I guess, like a near-death experience where Jesus actually laid with me in bed, and it was a white Jesus, because that's what we tend to see. And this Jesus, not very surprisingly, if you know enough about me, was like fucking ripped, man. He had like abs and shit, and they were like all veins like popping out of him, and
Wait, hold on. Did he lay down beside you and he was like, "Sup, bro?" Oh.
Well, there's a little more to the story. Like he wanted to tell me, he was disappointed in me and stuff like that. But anyway, that just kind of goes to add on to what you guys were saying. Oh no, Dieter, no. No comment.